Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Pro Wrestling World Talks with Dan and Mac.
Here we are, back for a regular episode this week after 2 weeks, back-to-back weeks of having great guests. Of course, we had the incomparable Scott Hudson from WCW. Folks, it's been a long couple of weeks. I'm still trying to get over my Disney trip. Scott Hudson a few weeks ago, he was on. You know, and the funny part is, I have barely talked about the Disney trip because now it's like almost that was like, it seems like a month ago, like on these episodes, because between then, it's like I've had the Scott Hudson episode, then we had Cobra Kai on last week. And so we really haven't had a regular round table or a weekly discussion show where we have been able to talk about the current things that we like or current events that are happening going on right now in every promotion in professional wrestling.
It stinks.
Jay Sherman is correct.
And that's the show.
Yep, that's it. That's all we need to say. Well, folks, it's been a pleasure. No, seriously. I am your host, Dale Burke, the host of PWW Talks, and I am ever joined by my best friend of over 20 years, and, of course, the co-host of this program, Mac. Thank you again for coming out of the program this week, and I am sorry that you have been kind of muted out the last few weeks with some of the guests. I was saying earlier tonight to my lovely significant other, I'm like, I felt bad for Mac the last few weeks because I feel like he has been almost like he got immediately moved to third or fourth chair at certain points, and it's like, but he's the co-host, damn it! Like, he does a lot for this program. He keeps me sane because my brain is just in the hosting aspects of it. I mean, I'm still.
Well, let me just say this. Hold on a second.
Yes.
Let me just say this real quick. I don't care because it gives me an opportunity to just get more high.
That's true. I mean, that is a good point because I've at least had to stay straight. The first Scott keeps wanting to go to like Scott Norton. For some reason, that just keeps
marijuana.
Yes, but Scott Hudson. The first time that we had Scott Hudson on, I was actually pretty goddamn sober. I didn't smoke at all because I was like, okay, I need to feel this guy out. I need to look professional here because it's a guy who is like on Turner Sports for years. Like he's actually has a name for himself. And I was just like, and I needed to stay straight. And then I met him, did the first show, and I was just like, I could be a complete degenerate around him and it's fine. Like,
I don't want to say a complete degenerate. Definitely a degenerate.
A degenerate, so to speak. And
just not maybe a complete one. I love Scott. I love having Scott on. Cobra Kai was awesome too. But yeah, there are times where it's just like, I'm just going to sit back and I'm just going to smoke a little bit more. And you guys are good. That's
I'm good.
That's it.
I'll throw my little audio clip out here and there. But the last, what is interesting is when I left here, the last time we did a live show where it was just me and Mac, and we were talking about the current state of professional wrestling. I remember thinking to myself, I'm like, well, let's see, Seth Rollins had just had to relinquish the championship, the World Heavyweight Championship, and we were going into, I believe,
Saturday Night Main Event, I think.
Yeah, we were headed into like about Saturday night's main event, around that, at least the setup for it. And then, of course, I went on my Disney trip. And that week we had on Scott Hudson. And then last week we had on Cobra Kai. So we really didn't talk about the current state of what's going on. Because the results...
You know what? I wish we did then because it would have been at least a somewhat better conversation.
It would have been a much better conversation, even though Monday's Raw was actually a good show.
I'm going to strongly disagree with you. I just listen. It was okay.
Yes,
I'll say it that way. It was okay.
It was better than other shows that they have had recently. And so to speak, the only things right now that I find a positive inside the industry is the two world champions on the men's side on WWE. Cody Rhodes and CM Punk are world champions, which I am ecstatic for. But that's kind of where the positives kind of end for me. Because of the
Stephanie
fact...
Stephanie McCare.
Oh, and Jade Cargill as well. I mean, I can't... Yeah. I'm happy with those four champions. The tag team division, to me, so to speak, I'm just like, well, what tag division? Some of the mid-card championships is, I was not real happy with Julia getting defeated with like a small package, like a distraction roll-up.
In like less than 2 minutes.
Chelsea Green in less than 2 minutes. Even though there's rumors that she's going to be moving on to challenge one of the world champions. Also, another thing that I was not a big fan of, but I am kind of, is the aspect of the Kabuki Warriors winning the tag team championships, which I'm happy for. But also at the same time, I'm not happy about the fact that the Alexa Bliss and Charlotte union is now coming to an end, because that has been one of
though. Well, they're going to be in War Games together, so I mean,
that is true.
It's not. What's the expression? It's not goodbye. It's just goodbye for now. Whatever the heck it is. It's like that's how it felt,
Because of the fact, and the fact is that this is why Alexa Bliss is going to be a Hall of Famer, and the fact of that she has made
Charlotte Flair look good.
She resurrected her career.
Yeah, I'll agree with that.
Alexa Bliss is not over. She was able to resurrect the career of Charlotte Flair. But also, too, it wasn't just Alexa Bliss, but it was also Charlotte herself reading the room and finally understanding, I have to somewhat now, come on, now, do I think that she's always been someone that has thought about legacy? Look at the last name, yeah, you kind of got to do that. And considering her father has had his own issues, so to speak, with his legacy, with some things that he has done self-inflicted.
Are you okay? Do we need to stop? Do we need to take a break?
No,
I got you. Don't worry.
But we have Flair now, and that last name, she wants to carry that last name and carry the legacy on of the family. And she's been able now to do it proper. And the reason that she has done that is because of the fact that she has come off more likable in interviews, in social media, and also, too, on television with this union that she's had with Alexa Bliss. That We're Not Friends alliance. And somehow this has worked out to be a great thing for her career. Something now she can look at and say, well, at least I had fun. Because I feel like she hasn't really had much fun. She's always played the serious role in the sense of that she's always been challenging for a main championship. And now it was like, now the pressure's off. Now I could just have fun here. And she looked like she was actually having a blast for once. And that's always the best when you see kind of the main eventers being able to kind of take a step back and do some stuff. And like John Cena when he was the U.S. champion for a while. Now he's the IC champion because, of course, they had to give him another goddamn accolade on the way out the door. Oh, you've never been Grand Slam champion? Well, we got to make that happen. Let's do that in Boston.
So two things. First of all, I hate it. Let's just get that out of the way now.
Damn it.
I do kind of want to have a little social commentary, as it were, about some of this stuff, and that's a good point of view, talking about Cena, especially, and more to the perspective of Dominic Mysterio. A lot of people see this as Dom's burial, It's not.
No.
It's just not. He probably wanted to wrestle the kid, and Dom was probably like, sure. Dom's a good guy. Like, you see him in social media interacting with young fans, especially the young kids, and you can just tell he's a good guy. He's going to do the job that he has to do. And this is exactly what it is. Is he going to get it back at some point? Who knows?
Probably.
The dude is literally a second coming of Eddie Guerrero at this point. And it's hilarious to watch, honestly. It really has been entertaining. But I don't see this as burying Dom Mysterio. I just don't. I understand why people feel that way, but it's business, and it's seen his way out. They want to do special things for him. This is one of them. I don't disagree that it sucks, and I don't disagree from what I just said. I hate it. I absolutely hate it. But they're not burying Dom Mysterio. They're just not. They're just not burying him. This is not a burial. This is, he's doing something for the business to put Cena over, and that's it. He's still AAA Mega Champion. Like, come on.
I don't think there's a lot of things I don't like about WWE right now. I don't think that Triple H is one of those guys, though, that goes out of his way to bury people as a booker.
Ha! Ha! No comment. No comment.
I try not to think that way.
Yeah.
But then there are little things that he does.
Yeah.
To certain people. Like the LA Knight effect.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're doing that purposely just to build up more kind of like a fiend for him to win a championship.
Dude, they cut him off mid-fucking promo.
Maybe this is all by design.
I don't think it was by design.
Maybe it is.
I understand what you're saying. Don't get me wrong. I really do. And I would love to sit here and agree with that sentiment that maybe this is all a little bit of a work. But when you have not really put him over practically at all, except as U.S. champion, it starts to feel less like a work. And I hate it for him because he got over on his own merit and has been incredibly consistent for them and continues to put guys over. Give him a fucking title. I don't know how else to say it. Give him a fucking title.
I mean...
Oh, wait. This just in.
Yeah.
He agrees!
I know. No, it is frustrating because it's like I want him to be world champion. I think the problem is that you can book a guy so badly that finally when he wins the championship, it's just like, who cares? I don't know if he's at that point.
No, he's not. He's definitely
not at that point. I don't think, because now I think, they might go the Stone Cold route with him, where it's just like they're just going to build up enough crowd where it's just going to turn into, we want Knight, like maybe it gets to that point because then he channels all this and he's able to now just make it just killer.
I mean, to your point, man, he needs to get to that level of being so similar to Steve Austin, which I feel like he already is. He needs that one promo, and he's had very good ones already, not for nothing. But, you said something about Jey Uso in that I kind of want to touch on real quick, and this was the whole thing when it comes down to it of strike where the iron's hot. Let's put the title on Jey Uso at WrestleMania. The iron has been hot on LA Knight for over a year.
Mm-hmm.
Pull the goddamn trigger. Just pull the trigger. I think the problem isn't LA Knight. I don't even think it's Triple H, to an effect anyways. They are so top heavy. They're so top heavy, it's ridiculous.
They're not. The problem that I have is, and this is going to catch up, and it's already started to catch up, because if you remember the age range for their main event talent,
Yeah, it's like 41, 42.
oh god,
something
it's
like
ridiculous. But then you saw it in like 2000, and everybody was like in their 30s, late 20s, and
Yeah.
I think the average age was like 31 or 32. And you're looking at the guys now, and it's just like, oh, good lord.
Well, you
I
have some
knew-
guys like Cody and Roman, and I'm not including The Rock in that conversation, but you could put in context. And Drew McIntyre is another one now. A lot of these guys are going to Hollywood.
I knew the short-term booking this year was going to suffer because of the John Cena retirement tour. This was my concern. It was a
yeah.
valid concern. And I think that has been proof with the sacrificial lambs that has had to come with it. Because Cody should have had a successful title defense at WrestleMania. Instead, you sacrificed it and sacrificed his booking, sacrificed his drawing ability, because you just had Roman Reigns have 3 consecutive years where he had a successful title defense at WrestleMania. That sets a very large bar, because it was very rare that the champion would go in and retain the title on one title reign like 3 straight years in a row. That's never happened before.
Right.
Hogan didn't have 3 consecutive title defenses in his first reign, because WrestleMania 1 was a tag team match. The second one, of course, was against King Kong Bundy in the cage. The third one was against Andre at Pontiac Silverdome. But he never got that third one, because 4 was the tournament. There's only one guy that was able to do it, and that was Roman Reigns. Cody was the guy, he was King Arthur, who took the sword out of the stone.
Oh my God.
What?
So just for reference, right? We're recording this.
We're doing this on Friday,
tonight,
yes.
And SmackDown is going on. I am not watching SmackDown. I know you are not watching SmackDown. We're getting updates from that guy.
Hooray.
And I don't know if he's going by one name or another, but it is LA Knight against Matt Cardona for the Last Time Is Now tournament.
What?
Yep.
You're kidding.
Swear to God. He just sent a picture of it in our chat as well to prove his point. So I don't know if he's going by Zack Ryder or Matt Cardona, but it is Matt Cardona versus LA Knight on the November 14th episode of SmackDown, and the Last Time Is Now tournament to face John Cena for his last match.
Not Chris Jericho.
Not Chris
Edge.
Jericho. Well, there
But
is
Zack
one more
Ryder.
surprise entrant from my understanding that I forget who's facing that person, but yeah.
I mean, Jericho.
So I'm just going to say LA Knight is probably moving on. Just saying that.
Probably.
Just saying that now.
Maybe LA Knight is going to be the guy that faces him. Maybe that's it.
I'm going to say this as soon as they announced his name against Javon Evans. I think it should be Gunther.
Probably it should, but at the same time, too, LA Knight I think would be a solid choice just because of
They've kind
what
of done.
we talked about it.
They've tagged though. It's.
Yeah, but
I don't know.
passing of the torch type stuff.
But if you're going to pass the torch, it should be Gunther though. That's.
I know.
Like LA Knight's what,
I know.
41? I'm not taking anything away from LA Knight, as I already kind of said before, but if you're passing a torch, you should go to a younger generation, which would be Gunther. Just, yeah.
I'm still keeping my LA Knight figures, even though I have to.
Oh, you absolutely should.
That is one guy that's like, I'm not going to lose confidence in you, bud. I'm going to still keep your stuff.
Even if Triple H will, we won't.
Oh, it is. The last few weeks, I have just been more in tune with the news of some of the things that have gone on where Tegan Knox decides that she's just going to walk out of Collision because she was going to be booked to lose a 3-minute match on live national television, national television for that matter, and then goes on social media and explains why that she walked out with her partner.
There seems to be multiple sides to that story too, by the way. I don't know if you've noticed that.
There seems to be multiple sides, but I'm going to go with the fact of is that, and because every single pundit that I have heard from, or heard for that matter, has said the same thing, that how dumb it was, and you take that 3 minutes and you do something with it, instead of just literally killing your booking career, because who's going to use you now?
Well, not only that, too, but if you think about it this way, how many women in the back are sitting there like...
Because I'm not booked.
Like Purrazzo? Purrazzo was like...
She posted.
100 times more talented than Tegan Knox is. 1,000 times. I'd say 1,000, 1,000,000 times more talented. She barely gets television time.
Well,
Athena, who's been stuck on goddamn Ring of Honor.
Yeah. Deanna Purrazzo also isn't made of glass like Tegan Knox is either.
No!
That's part of the problem with Tegan Knox. And listen, I do like Tegan Knox. I don't want to sit here and have people assume otherwise. I think she is talented. However, she does have an injury problem. And when you look at it from this perspective as well, from stuff that she has said herself, oh, well, I'm only going to be wrestling for one more year. Okay. So then how about you give it to the talent that is actually going to be there? And listen, effectively, that is what she did by walking out. But this is what happened to Mercedes and Naomi. It didn't work out well for them. It did in the long run years later, sure, but it didn't in the short term at all. So that's a little bit different because they have booking power. Tegan, I'm sorry, you don't.
You have no track record, except you were a decent performer, but that was pretty much it. Every time that you seem to get traction, your ACL would give out.
Yeah.
And now you think that you can go to AEW, which is still, on paper, the second biggest promotion in the country. And you think you can call your shot and be like, well, I don't want to do that, and just walk out.
If I'm Tegan Knox...
You don't have a contract!
If I'm Tegan Knox, I'm either a producer backstage or I'm a trainer. I'm not trying to go back out there at this point.
No one is going to book her now.
Yeah, I mean, definitely not now anyways. Yeah, you're right.
Plus her asking price was outrageous too, from what I understand.
That I didn't look into at all, but I'm not surprised. I do, since we're talking about AEW, I do want to touch on Blood and Guts real quick.
Oh, yes, let's.
Yeah. Did you happen to check the ratings?
I did see they beat NXT.
That's not saying much.
But I heard it was like 600,000.
It was 600,000. Yep.
Yes.
So 600,000 was a 0.15 in the key demo, 18 to 49.
Okay.
This does not include streaming numbers from HBO Max, which not surprising. The 600 is up from 497 the week before. And I'm getting a weird message on my thing. I don't know why. Let's see. In regards to...
Is it still up for you?
Is it not for you? That's probably why. Okay.
No, it's not up for me.
That's weird. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Because I pulled it up to read it. That's why. So it looks like... I'm looking at two different sites, so bear with me here. It looks like they were up against the Magic and the Knicks, which drew 1.3 million. And that was their biggest competition, really. The only other thing I would make an argument for was a big competition would have been the Devils against the Blackhawks, which drew 327K on TNT.
Big upset, too. The Magic ended up beating the Knicks, and I think Jalen
did.
Brunson got hurt in the same game.
I think he did, yeah. But before we move on to that conversation, since we're still looking at this, do you know what Meltzer gave this?
What?
He gave the entire night a 4.7.
Well, I know Cage Match gave it like the 9s.
So he gave the women's blood and guts match, which might as well just say what the matches were. There's only 3 of them here, anyways. Women's blood and guts match was Marina Shafir, Megan Bain, Mercedes Moné, Julia Hart, and Sky Blue and Thekla, defeating Harley Cameron, Jamie Hayter, Chris Statlander, Mina Shirakawa, Tony Storm, and Willow Nightingale. He gave it a 4.5. Hangman defeats Powerhouse Hobbs in a Falls Count Anywhere match. He also gave that a 4.5.
You mean to tell me they had two double cage matches and a Falls Count Anywhere match in the same night?
Yep. Because it's blood and guts, so you might, I'm kidding, of course, but still, yeah. So the men's blood and guts match was Darby Allin, Roderick Strong, Kyle O'Reilly, Mark Briscoe, Orange Cassidy, defeating Claudio, Daniel Garcia, Moxley, Pac, and Wheeler Yuta. He gave it a 5.
Yeah, and I saw that Kyle O'Reilly tapped out John Moxley, and I was just like,
why?
Yeah, well, Darby wasn't even involved in the finish, even though the feud was really between Darby Allin and John Moxley.
Yeah.
And Darby took the spot off the stage through the flaming tables.
Of course.
So he was incapacitated, and then you have O'Reilly tapping out John Moxley, and then everybody's just like, well, this just made Kyle O'Reilly. It's like, no, O'Reilly's high point was in Undisputed Era. Unfortunately, he had the injury.
Man.
Unfortunately, he had the injury, and he had to take the time off. But and I hate to say this because Kyle O'Reilly and Roderick Strong are probably two of the most talented in-ring performers, and especially as a tag team. Like, I love those guys. I love what they did with Undisputed Era. But if they don't have Adam Cole, they are literally irrelevant. Sorry.
Yeah.
And it's hard for me to say that, but Adam Cole made those two guys, like, the Undisputed Era in NXT in like 2017 through 2019, that group carried that brand. Literally carried it. And unfortunately, because there was a power play involved, those guys suffered. And NXT suffered. And those guys made the switch. I don't blame them for making the switch. But it hurt the one aspect of WWE because now they're losing 3 guys that are top guys that can make your company better. And because since they have gone to AEW, Adam Cole's career has really never been the same. And because of injuries, booking decisions, things of that nature, it's just been a snake-bit run. And because of that, O'Reilly and Roderick Strong have both suffered the same fates. Because O'Reilly was out for a time with an injury. Roderick Strong, mind you, he's shown he's a super talented guy with a lot of his, the comedy stuff he's done. The Adam stuff was funny. Like, Roderick Strong is a really good, he can play a good character, and he's a great in-ring performer. But without Adam Cole, both those guys suffer severely. And I don't like saying that because I love those guys. But I'm not going to pay money to see them wrestle unless Adam Cole's involved. Because, I'm sorry, I want to see the Undisputed Era. I want to see the band, that original lineup. That's just how it is. But I won't call any of them Lars. because I have respect for both of them.
It's a low bar. It's a low shot too. I feel like. I mean, listen. I don't think you're wrong. I think, given the power play that you mentioned between Vince and Triple H, I thought it was really just poor timing, anyways, because that was around the time that Triple H had his heart issue, which to me just made it all worse. I think they've come out of that with a stronger NXT versus 3-4 years ago, maybe. I do think it sucks that we lost Adam Cole and everything after that, and a few other people left NXT around the same time as well. And, it's unfortunate, but it kind of is what it is. I do kind of think, unfortunately, though, that some that left are in an okay situation. Most aren't. And you kind of have to look at where does it go from there, right? You've kind of lost Adam Cole. You have these other guys that, were in Undisputed Era, but you don't have that anymore because you don't have Adam Cole. It's unfortunate. And, I think we all kind of hope for the same thing, which is that eventually Adam Cole will be able to recover and he'll be okay, but it obviously doesn't look good.
You can't even, to me, it wouldn't even be a thought right now.
Oh, right now, I don't think it should be. 100%.
It shouldn't even be a thought. This is like a Tua Tagovailoa situation down with Miami. It's like, do we really want to have this conversation again in 2 years or 18 months or 6 months? I don't.
I mean, maybe he beat the Bills. I don't know.
How about them Pats?
Yeah.
And I'm sure everybody was, they're beating tomato kids. Look, you play within your schedule, folks. That's what you do.
I saw it.
The luck of the draw.
Funny.
Some years you get the luck of the draw.
Yeah, man. It's funny. I saw somebody earlier post something like, "Oh, the Patriots are going to lose like the next couple of games. They got a hard schedule now," and it's just like they play the Bills and the Dolphins. And did they play the Jets again? I think they played all three of those teams
Jets,
again.
Yeah.
And it's like they beat all three of them.
And they get a bye.
Yeah, and they got a bye next week. Yeah, exactly.
They get a bye in a really good week to get a bye, because you're heading into like the end of the year.
Which perfect too, because they didn't have the best second half. They didn't. Compared to what they've been doing, I should say it that way. The second half wasn't bad. The defense really came in strong in the second half, which was good. But I mean, they're coming into the bye at exactly the right time after this game. Because they could have blown out the Jets. Let's be real.
They could have, but I think that they're, it's a short week.
Yeah.
You just want to be able to get through this. I'm not mad about it either. It's like, and I always scale division games harder because they're always going to play you harder because they look at the division games, and then there's that New York, Boston rivalry where everybody's just like, so they're going to play you harder. I expect Miami to play us harder. Buffalo's going to want to get their win back. So those 3 games at least are not going to be gimmies.
The fact that they have one in hand against them is a good thing, though.
The fact that they went from 4 wins last year to 9 this year. Am I really going to bitch? Like, am I really in a position? Yeah. Do I want them to go in the playoffs and get like a playoff win? Maybe get to the conference title game? Yeah, that'd be great. But
I'll be happy if they made the playoffs. Shit.
Yeah, it's like I'm not expecting a Super Bowl run. If you can get it, great. Like, if you ride the lightning and then all of a sudden you're just there in fucking February, awesome. I'm not going to complain at all. Ooh. But at the same time, I have to be realistic and say that there may be a ceiling. Do I think it might come in the next 4 weeks, 5 weeks or so? God, I hope not. I want the train to keep going. But at the same time, I have to be like, look, I just want a playoff win, maybe. They get something else. If they get to the conference title game, great. If they get to the Super Bowl, even fucking better. But I need to sit here realistically and say, may happen, it might not. I can't get mad at all right, we won 4 games last year and we were a joke. Now we have a good quarterback, we have a great coach. Let's build on that.
All right, so here's who they actually play next. Last 6 games: the Bengals, the Giants, the Bills, the Ravens, the Jets, and then the Dolphins.
Okay, the Ravens could be an issue because Lamar's back and they could start showing some life. Plus 2, they could be fighting for a playoff spot by that.
I think that honestly, they have a chance to win out. It's not
a
big chance, but they have a chance.
They have a chance, but it's gonna be like that. That Ravens game is one I could sit there and be like, they could slip on that game. That could be a banana peel. But you still, if you lose that game and you go win out the rest of the games, you're still 14-3.
Yeah, but you know what, man? Like looking at how they handled the Buccaneers,
Tampa.
especially.
Yeah,
yep.
no, it's a good division leading team. Baker Mayfield's been playing great. Todd Bowles is a great coach. So that was one of those games where it was. That was the game I took notice. I'm like, okay, now this is real.
Yeah, same. Exactly
like that.
Same.
That was the way I felt after the game. Now
nervous.
This is real.
Yeah, I was very nervous about that game. Falcons, I think they got lucky. They probably could have won in overtime if they needed to, but
yeah,
I thought they got lucky with that one. The Buccaneers, though, I was like,
yeah, the Buccaneers, I was a little like, they're really good.
Yep.
But they.
I mean, not for nothing. The Steelers game that they lost by a touchdown.
Yeah,
and they had chances in that game to win.
They've had a chance. There's an argument made they could be an undefeated team right now. They could have won both.
The Raiders, the Raiders, they only lost by a touchdown as well.
But I look at the first 4 weeks in the NFL now as like an extended preseason.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
So it's like they're still trying to figure shit out. So it's like I look at, because everybody could look at that and be like, they lost to the Raiders. But I'd look at that and be like, well, look, it's week 1 of the season when you're just still trying to you lost a preseason game. It's no longer 4 weeks, it's 3. And then you get that, because they had to have that 17th game in the regular season, and then add like it's just, okay. So they get the 17th game of the season instead of a 4th preseason game. So they kind of treat the first 4 weeks of the NFL season as an extended preseason. So the fact that they at least coming into the middle of November are 9-2 after winning 4 games last year and being a laughingstock 2 years ago with Belichick headed out the door. I mean, the last year, weren't we he won 3 games 1 year and then we won 4 last year, or was it 4 the last 2 years that they won the last 2 years, and then this year was 9, so it's like we've already doubled our win total and then some of what we've won in the previous 2 years.
I mean,
so
I'll say it this way, right? It's huge when they're talking about Drake May being the second coming of Tom Brady.
Not there yet.
I mean, he's close this year, I will say.
He's very close. It's very I'm keep thinking to myself, I'm like, come on, kid. You got a chance here. But now you're finding out that other teams were fighting for him, but other teams were trying to trade up for him. I know the Giants wanted him. There was the Vikings, and then somehow it was like they just knew. They're like, we got to keep him. Like, we got to get this kid.
Yeah.
And
both those seasons were 4-win seasons, by the way.
Jesus. So now you've already doubled that in 1 year. And
I mean, you've beat your record for that for both those years in week 9, week 10, whatever it is.
I just remember saying, like, they need to hire Vrabel. They need to hire Vrabel. They need to hire Vrabel. Just me yelling at, like, just hire him. And even
I gave him that
year,
first year with Draw Mayo. I gave it the year, and after that, I was like, yeah, no.
after you go from the first pick to the fourth pick, because he's just like, it's just like, no, dude, you're done. Like, that's it. Like, which I guess Robert Kraft understood too, the mission, because it was like literally within 15 minutes after the game, yeah, you're done. Like,
I don't know, but yeah, I know people liked Blood and Guts. I know a couple people had said something to me about it, and listen, I'm okay with it in context, right? Like, I don't like the fact that they're basically poaching ideas from WWE. I think it's kind of dumb. Make your own match. That's just me. But I think the biggest takeaway for me is, like, what are you doing? Why are you giving this for free on TV? You only popped 600,000. Like, that's better than your last week, but you needed 2 effectively war game matches to pull it off.
especially too when you're involving, you're doing a women's only match, considering that at 8:00 at night, you're showing women just like completely Crimson Mask. Like, the joke was Sky Blue, 9 minutes in a Dynamite, and she's just covered in blood. And you're like, how is this, like, how is this being allowed by Turner? Like, how is this being allowed by TBS of any, like, network not watching this and realizing, what the hell are you doing?
Or even just having a show called Blood and Guts on primetime television.
You can't just call somebody, like, and talk to Tony and just say, you can't do this at 8:00 at night on our network. Like, we're not going to have this. Like, you're just having, like, just gushing blood. It's like, what are we doing here, Tony? I know how much we're paying you. It's kind of a bargain compared to, like, even though they're probably looking at it as, well, it's really not a bargain. Like, are you happy you're making you're paying these guys $155 million for 600,000 people a week? You really want that? I mean, what the fuck is Collision right now? You're barely doing like 350?
I mean, what the fuck is that?
Exactly, Dan. You're right. The fuck is that?
You know, I saw the chatter when this was discussed about Shockwave, which was supposed to be whatever their Fox show was going to be.
Right.
And the chatter was, oh, yeah, it's still going to happen. I'm like, on what planet? On what planet?
No, it ain't.
You can't even pop $1 million.
Like, they can't get $1 million. They can't even get 750,000 anymore. I remember 18 months ago, their ceiling was like 800K. Now Blood and Guts is doing 6. This was doing $1 million 2 or 3 years ago.
It's 6 because of the fact that it's this show. Because we talked about this. The week before, it was 497. They couldn't pop 5K. Or 500K, excuse me. So at what point do you kind of turn around if you were a TV executive and be like, what are we doing? Like, to me, this is... First of all, it's petty because this is 2 weeks from Survivor Series where they're doing the exact same match except without a ceiling. Just saying that now, like, let's be real, okay? So for the people that are like, oh, WWE counter programming, what the fuck is this then? That's the first statement I'm going to make right now. On top of that, though, this is a pay-per-view. This is a pay-per-view. This is not a television show.
No.
You're giving this away for free. Granted, yes, you are getting advertising money out of it, but what is your advertising breakthrough point if you're only pulling in $600K? Just throwing that out there. If anybody has an answer, please drop a comment on any of the socials. Just saying, because I'd love to know.
I'm sure the network, I'm sure the network wanted the blood and guts match, but I don't know if they wanted the women's one just because of there's a
So you think they wanted the blood and the guts matches, but not the actual blood and the guts?
not the every woman has a crimson mask in this match.
I don't think Mercedes did. I don't remember though.
I
don't really watch.
Well, I guarantee she probably didn't blade. She probably didn't.
I think a couple people didn't, from what I saw.
I don't think Toni Storm did either. She might have.
I think she did, actually. I think she did. Mina definitely did. Sky obviously did. I think there was one on either team that didn't, but I forget which ones they were.
Jamie Hayter cracked some teeth.
Oof.
Which I'm like, why? Like that not just a tooth, teeth.
Yeah.
Plural sense.
Plural, yeah.
And that's like that to me is just like, what are you doing?
I mean, listen, stuff happens. It's just it's all context, right? Like when Jade split her eyebrow open, like Tiffany when she cracked a tooth, it's like shit's gonna happen. But when the objective of the match is almost to be like, let's see how much we can one up each other with how much we blade. Not necessarily.
Even Meltzer and Alvarez were, and they're singing their praises all the time. Meltzer still gave it 5 stars, 4.5 star, or 4.
Gave 4.5 for the women, yeah.
4.5 for the women. But he even questioned him, just like, when's enough going to be enough?
That's the thing, and I don't think they can answer that. And I don't mean Meltzer and Alvarez. I think the talent and Tony. It's blood in wrestling to me is such a low hanging fruit. It's just you're all gonna do it, and I'm okay with in WWE at this point them doing it because they don't do it as much as they used to anymore.
No,
it's not like that anymore. You might pull it out for a match. It might even be a mistake in a match and a happy one in some cases. But like, come on.
I used to think of the idea of ECW without a budget, with like a giant budget. And I feel like he's trying that, except it's just taking away all the charm.
Well, he's definitely trying it because he had it in the ECW arena like 2 times a couple months ago.
It's like, but two, it's like, it's not. You're going to honor Taz, but it's not like you're going to invite Shane Douglas to the building. It's weird.
Let's put it this way, right?
Taz is under the contract, I understand.
Right. So let's put it this way, right? So you brought up ECW, and we can bring up other promotions, WWE themselves even. But late 90s, early 2000s, I would say as late as 2007, having a lot of blood wasn't seen as passe or a bad thing, right? It just wasn't. Wrestling has since evolved. You don't need it now. You can have it in some context, right? When Cody and Brock and Drew and CM Punk, like in context for those types of matches and some of the blow-off matches, that makes sense. It makes sense. It doesn't need to be every match, though.
No,
and sometimes when I feel like, and granted, again, I get it, blood and guts, but like, come on. Like,
his pay-per-views are ridiculous sometimes. I'm just like, TLC match, Paul's Can Anywhere match, non-sanctioned match, like
Texas Death Match.
Oh, it's ridiculous. It's like, what are you doing? Stop. Not every match has to have a gimmick.
You're 100% right, and you just nailed it. Honestly, it's I get having some
But
gimmick
that's
matches.
all he can do now.
Right.
It's the only thing that makes him different compared to WWE.
I'm just gonna throw this statement out here, and I feel like it's an allegory for life, but honestly, I feel like it's an allegory more so for wrestling and wrestling fans these days. Just because something is different doesn't make it good. It's not always good to be that different, to blade that much, to have a gimmick match every show you do. Like, it's just not necessary. I get why people do it, and like the exploding super kicks, it's like, okay, this feels like an indie show now. And when you're the number 2 promotion in the United States, that's not exactly a good thing, I feel like.
It's not a good thing. It's not a good thing at all. It's not a good thing to come off with a vibe of, and I get it, but the problem is you're not growing your fan base. You're maintaining what you have. You want to grow. You don't want to you not just maintain what you have. And you don't have the same audience that you've had in the last, look at when they first started. Their debut episode in October of 2019 did 1.4 million. They are under half that now.
Yep.
And they are approaching a third of that now.
Yep.
On a weekly basis. That's not good.
Yeah, it's not. That's the problem. And I understand people like the product. It's not for everybody, and it's definitely not for me. Like, I think I've made that clear enough at this point. But I just, if you
But they're
you
going
like
to be in
what
Boston.
you like,
We've been invited to the show next week.
yeah. Guess who's not going to that? By the way.
Well, we might have plans. We might have plans. The announcement. I am someone that does not like to tease.
We might have a special guest on.
We might have a special guest next week. That's all I'm going to say.
I was going to wait till the end to say just that, so we can leave it at just that.
Yeah, but we will make it. That will be announced on social media next week. If what happens. That's all I'm going to lead to. But the break in with that, it's hard to look at other promoters and other indie promoters and look at them and say, he is a more creative booker than the guy running the number 2 promotion in the country right now. And even Chris Jericho thinks so, because Jericho's just like, well, I watched Bound for Glory and they look like the number 2 promotion in wrestling right now. Of course, Chris could be talking could now go to any promotion. He could go to AEW and say that, and everybody would love it because he was be like, TNA is number 2 because AEW is number 1. But Chris isn't going to do that because I think he's going to WWE.
That is what's being heavily speculated, yeah, is that he will end up in WWE.
And God, do I hate it. Because now this whole John Cena thing is going to lead to all these guys wanting to come back and get a John Cena retirement tour. It's like, you're not John Cena!
Yeah, I mean, listen, I've been saying that since it was announced that he might keep going back. I'm like, he probably saw what Cena got and he wants it.
Ugh.
Been saying it the whole time.
I hate him.
I'm not going to sit here and bash that, because I think that there's a valid point that people that are kind of on a come down are going to look to do that. And he is one of them. And it's unfortunate because I don't think that he, at this point, is really deserving of that. I'm not going to sit here and say that Jericho didn't have his, I guess, high points of his career. I'll say it that way. But we're well past that at this point. I think he's older than The Rock, and he does not look as good as The Rock. I would make the argument he never really did. But I digress. We should spend a little time talking about the number one promotion, though, because there's been news there, too. I don't even know where to start with this one, so I'm just going to... Whatever is here is what we'll talk about. Fuck, it's Joe Hendry.
Oh, Jesus.
So it's been reported that Joe Hendry is now no longer with TNA and is now fully with WWE.
I loved it in one of our group chats today when someone said he's a 65 at best, and it's like you're right.
Yeah, and like the power
it's
ratings
like
of the game,
100% right.
Yeah.
It's like because, and my answer to that is Joe Hendry will be jobbed the fuck out in the WWE game if they put him in next year. I will make sure of that. I will put him on all three brands just so that guy could just get destroyed by every, like, put him up against Brock Lesnar. F5, 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 F5. Just like, oh, God, because I just...
here's what I'm going to say, and I know there are...
You do that. I'm going to take a moment to go to use the restroom.
You do that. I think there are pros and cons to Joe Hendry. And I know there's going to be people that agree, disagree for a variety of reasons. I do kind of, however, think that, just saying it transparently, Joe Hendry is overrated. I'm sorry. He is, as Dan walks off to the bathroom, he is just incredibly overrated to me. And it's not to sit there and say that he has no talent. I'm not going to sit here and say that his gimmick isn't, I don't even have the words, good, I guess. Engaging. I think the gimmick is already a little tired. The character of Joe Hendry does not show that much evolution, which is a mystery. It's not doing anything. And if they're going to bring him now fully into WWE, the only thing I personally want to really see out of that is kind of do what they did at WrestleMania with Randy Orton. Have everybody steal the turnaround at the camera that Joe does, and that's it. That is the only way I'm going to like this, what I'm going to call Joe Hendry experiment. Because otherwise, like I said, for me, Joe Hendry is overrated. He's just very overrated. It feels hokey at this point. It feel like I don't even know what they did with Thea Hale, in NXT. I don't understand why they're pairing Thea Hale with him when she is obviously, in my opinion, way more talented, number one, but number two, putting her with him does nothing for her, except maybe he gets a AAA title out of it. He's overrated. He's just plain and simple. He's overrated. Get Thea Hale away from him and just throw him back to TNA, please.
He's a fucking meme. That's all he is.
He's overrated.
He's a walking meme.
He's overrated. It's
exactly.
So overrated. Like, the gimmick was good at first. It's already tired. The whole say his name and he appears. Yeah, it's funny, but it's zero longevity.
It peaked at WrestleMania.
That literally, when you walked away, I said that the only way this is going to work is if everybody steals that gimmick that Randy Orton did and just turns around to the camera. That's the only way it's going to work. That's it.
He just turns around. Just like, yes.
That's literally the only way it's going to work for me is somebody steals that every time they're in a feud with him. That's it. I just, it's tired. It's done. It's a little hokey. Is it fun sometimes? Yeah. You bring it out a little bit here and there. Yeah, okay. But like, I don't need a feud between Chelsea Green and Ethan Page against him and Thea Hale. I don't even want Thea Hale anywhere near him because she's far more talented than even he is.
No. No,
Just
not at all.
stop it now.
Not at all.
I don't want it. The other news is actually something that we found out today, is that looks like January 2nd, SmackDown will be going back to 3 hours. Apparently that is wanted by both WWE, TKO, and USA as well.
No,
USA
it's
apparently
or do they?
has asked. According to the report I read, yes, they do want it. I don't understand why either, trust me. I really don't.
Like you said, he can't book for 2. Why can't he do? He can't do 3.
Yeah, man. I put that in the chat earlier with us and another person, where I literally said Triple H can't even book for 2 hours at this point.
He can. I don't even think he can book for 2 minutes.
He can book for 2 minutes, just not well.
Just
I do. So let's backtrack for a second, because we only lightly touched on this when we opened the show, but you said you liked Raw this week.
I did.
What did you like exactly?
Um,
I see that very accusingly because I did not enjoy it. So if you feel accused, you are accused. Yes.
I know you're annoyed by the fact that Cody and
No, there's a lot of things that I was actually annoyed about.
No, I know you're annoyed by that. I know you were annoyed by Dominic losing. I thought it was. I was
annoyed.
I thought
it was a good match.
Story.
I'm okay with it. I can get past it. I didn't like it, but I can move past it.
No, I get it. I get it completely. I did like Rusev winning. I thought that was good.
That felt like a vengeance to me, by the way.
It did, which I liked. But because I really like what they're doing with Rusev, because it's like they're actually fucking doing something with him. And the guy looks like a star. And looks like somebody.
He didn't back then.
No, he didn't. Now they're just whatever he figured out in AEW, they're using here. And it's just they're making him look like a fucking
shave his head and make him
tank.
a fucking beast.
It's just they're doing that, and they're doing that in the best way possible.
Yep.
And I really too feel like that you can have somebody like him go up against like Braun Breaker and just kick the shit out of Braun Breaker and make him the baby face. Not Braun, but like Rusev.
Well, you can make either one the baby face in that aspect, I think. But you're not wrong,
But I really feel like they're doing so that angle I like, and it's just the Damian Priest factor. There was definitely some vengeance there. Which
man.
Fun.
Oh yeah. You don't know what we're talking about? Just look it up. Just saying.
I want to like Damian Priest, but every time he comes
not against
out,
Rusev, man.
All rise. Oh God, shut up.
Yeah, I'm not going to say our thing for that right now, but yes, I agree.
By the way, Aaron Judge is the American League MVP, and he should be.
Oh, who didn't see that coming?
If anybody wants to sit here and argue with me, Cal Raleigh should have been the fucking league MVP, all I need to tell you is he didn't even hit 250. He's not the league MVP. When you have somebody that hit 50 home runs and won the batting title, he didn't hit 60 like Cal Raleigh. Ooh. Meanwhile, he led in every other offensive category except home runs. Oh, he only hit 50 instead of 60. Oh, Cal Raleigh should be MVP. Oh. Fuck out of here.
Who was National League? It was Ohtani, right?
Ohtani again.
Okay.
4th time.
I mean, he deserved it too, honestly, not for nothing.
Well, how can you argue?
Because that's
like,
kind of
like that's the thing with him. It's like, how can you argue this? I can't argue it. I want to try to sit like, do I wish his average was bigger? I do wish he batted in the 300s. That'd be nice. But in today's landscape of things, he's one of the greatest players I've ever seen in my life, in any sport. And that is saying something. But to be able to strike out 10 guys in a World Series and then hit 3 home runs in like a playoff game,
it's crazy. It's crazy.
This is something I'll never see in my lifetime again.
Yep. exactly.
I mean, the only guy that I could probably sit here and put that in the same category is Babe Ruth, but his prime was a century ago, and nobody has I mean, mind you, he was hitting like rocks because baseballs back then were just completely different. So, like, he was hitting home runs with rocks. So that I'll give him. But it's also not like he had to deal with like the curve ball, like a slider and the split finger and a cut fastball. He's dealing with the occasional fastball, maybe a curve, not a knuckle curve though. You know, like not some
probably a
breaking
knuckle
balls.
ball more than anything. Because I mean, not the standard knuckleball that we know today, of course, but like it probably was a knuckleball. Looking at the league back then, you know, like they're not throwing these like 90, 100 mile an hour fastballs, I'm sure.
And Paul Skeens won the National League MVP and still trying to figure out why the fuck he's in Pittsburgh. But
I said that about a lot of people, actually.
I feel so bad for him.
Oh, I know. Me too.
Like, I feel terrible for him. And it's funny because I'm wearing a Penguins jersey. But I feel terrible for him because they are the absolute worst of the worst as far as franchises to be a part of. Because, unless you're the Maple Leafs. But it's... I gotta continue that trend, folks. Sorry. Nothing brought me more joy was when the Blue Jays lost, and then I could just be like, the new logo of the Blue Jays, and it's just the tape of the Maple Leafs. Nothing brought me more joy, because I'm like, ooh, they blew a lead in Game 6 and 7. Only one team does that in Toronto. Oh, 63. Remember. I mean, we won the cup when John Kennedy was still alive.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Is there so going back to what we were talking about? I apologize, but what did you like on Raw again?
Well, I said Rusev winning.
Okay.
I did like I like that. I did like the matchup between Dominic and John Cena. I thought it told a good story.
I'll be okay with the good story. I'm okay with Rusev and Priest. Yeah.
The William Regal appearance. The Factors in Boston.
That was really forced, though.
Well, of course it was, but like, it's almost just like, can you just have it more sporadic? Like, just do it in a way that, because he just shows up and it's just like, all right.
No, it was the fact that CM Punk like yelled for him too. It's like
Regal.
Yeah.
Well, he's
Regal!
also trying
like,
to he's also trying to squash those rumors of apparently there was a backstage incident of AEW, which that's when I knew the bullshit of the press was completely ridiculous. When it was reported that he had like an incident with William Regal backstage and was just like, but you're a Hunter guy. Ugh. And that probably guaranteed never fucking happened, or it did in a sarcastic way and not in a serious manner, which, of course, anything that came out about CM Punk and AEW it was never good. It was always like in a negative sense, which is why the relationship that ended like it did so soon into their 2 years in. And Tony Khan not only drove and was able to get CM Punk I was going to say the white whale, but pretty much was able to become Ahab and get Moby Dick finally and get him back into professional wrestling. And not only was he able to do that, within 2 years, he drove him back to the company that made him left professional wrestling in the first place.
I mean,
how do you do that?
I mean, listen, I think that it probably helped that Vince was gone.
Oh yeah, of course.
I don't think he goes back if Vince was still there, of course.
Well, Vince was there, but he was more in the I'm out of the creative sense. And pretty much they neutered
But it was
him.
TKO at that point, is what I'm saying.
Yeah. That was a Nick Khan deal. That had nothing to do with Vince. You're right.
Right. So, I mean, I think in that aspect, if, like I said, if Vince is still in power, we'll say it that way, he's not going back. He's just not. But is there anything else in Raw that you liked before I pick it apart?
No.
Okay. Good. Because yeah, I disagree. I do not like Cena going over. I feel like I understood it. I knew it was going to happen. I still don't like it. Especially in Boston. I just listen. John Cena's from Massachusetts. I get it. I really do. But I am from Massachusetts too, and I do not claim him. I don't. I haven't since college.
I do not either.
Yeah, well, I know you don't. I also think that some of what they're doing is dumb. You know, you did mention the Regal thing. I did enjoy that. That was obviously one of the bright spots of Raw. But otherwise, I don't need this. I don't need Jey Uso in War Games again, or Cody Rhodes in War Games again. I don't understand why you were teaming up two of your world champions and not having them defend the title. I don't get that at all.
I to butt in on that. I mean, I understand why they're doing it that way, because if the rumors seem to be true, it is going to be CM Punk, Cody Rhodes, Jey Uso, and Roman Reigns, which
I've heard that.
I remember. Well, of course I made the reference and saying, so it's going to be Roman Reigns, CM Punk, Cody Rhodes, and Steve Avery. That's, for any baseball aficionados, Steve Avery was the fourth man in the rotation for the 95 Braves, which consisted of Greg Maddux, Tom Glavine, John Smoltz, and then Steve Avery. So you understand, three all-time greats, massive drop-off. And that's the way I look at this team. And the rumored other team, of course, seems to be now Logan Paul, Bronson Reed, Braun Breaker, and I fully expect the fourth member of that team to be Brock Lesnar. So that is another formidable team.
Yeah.
Just because of Brock Lesnar, but it doesn't, and as far as all-time greatness, it doesn't even come close, because you look at Logan Paul, he's going to do some fun shit, yeah, but it's not going to be anything to, like, it's going to be the spots that everybody's just, of course. And I'm sure Brock
is springboard from one ring to the other.
Of course.
Everyone's going to be like, ooh, and it's like, cool, yeah, I don't care. Like, I really don't. I didn't think of Brock. I don't know why my mind went to Drew McIntyre, which is still possible, but supposedly he's going to be doing Highlander the next couple of weeks, which is why they gave him the indefinite suspension, which I'm sure they talked about tonight. But I'm okay if it's Brock. That's actually a great substitution. I don't need fucking Jey Uso in this match. I don't need two world champions in the match on the same team. I just don't. I also loathed Nikki Bella turning on Stephanie McMahon. You had her in a match with Becky Lynch. It didn't work. Why all of a sudden does this work? It doesn't. I'm sorry. And, ooh, she ripped off her red shirt and had a black shirt on. She must be a heel now.
Oh.
Like, it just, oh, man. It was really bad storytelling in the first place. And, the women's War Games match that's shaping up to be looks good, but it's like and listen, I love Rhea. She does not need to be in this match.
She doesn't. Like, she doesn't need to be in this match. It's just,
Good for Lash, though. I will say that.
Of course.
Lash does deserve a call up. She has for a while.
She does. Like, she has. She definitely has deserved one. I'm glad she's getting it finally. But it still sucks that it's like that we're dealing with that Rhea Ripley has to be in this match again. Is Io Sky in it?
She is in it, yeah.
Of course.
It's more than likely going to be the Kabuki Warriors, Lash, Nia Jax against Rhea, Io, and the not friend alliance.
And I understand why Cody wants to be in it too, because, it is his dad's match. He did create this.
Listen, I'm not mad about that. I don't care about that.
Yeah.
I only care because it is two of your world champions who are not defending their titles. And arguably, I don't know what's happening on the women's side, but it might be Stephanie and Nikki at War Games, which, please God, no, because I do not feel like having another PLE botch by Nikki Bella. Just throwing that out there. And I don't know what's going on with Jade. So,
yeah.
Whatever. I just, it's, I don't know. I don't feel like either product, whether we're talking about them or we're talking about AEW, is really in a great place right now. It does not feel that way.
I want to appreciate this industry as much as humanly possible. I understand how people could think that I try to play off as miserable on here. I've always been a pessimistic person. I've always someone that looks at the glass half empty instead of half full. I care about this industry immensely. That's why I host this show. That's why Mac hosts this show, because he's in the same boat. We've done nothing but talk about this industry, talk about the old days all the time. I love the old days. The new days, it's hard sometimes because there's a part of me that's still attached to the same talent that were around before these guys, and some of the ones that'll be retiring. Like, I am not upset that John Cena is retiring. I'm glad it's happening. I do respect the fact that he says that this is it, and I firmly believe that once he hangs it up next December, that's it. It's over, Johnny. He will never perform again. And I'm not upset by that. I'm ready for him to move on. I think that his legacy, they're going to look at him glowingly. They're going to call him one of the greatest of all time. He does, they're going to say that. He's not my GOAT, but I understand why they put him in the conversation. I get that. I don't like it, personally. He's never been one of my guys. He's never going to be one of my guys, ever. And I have to live with the fact, though, that he is going to be in the conversation with the Hogans, the Bret Harts, the Shawn Michaels, the Steve Austins. It's going to happen. I think Roman Reigns is better. I think his legacy, people are going to look back on more glowingly when his time is over. Because his bloodline run, that 3-year run between 2020, 3.5 year pretty much run, him as world champion, was far more compelling than anything that John Cena did the previous decade and a half. And that is unbelievable to say, because Cena was just racking up all these championship victories and just building this legacy of not putting people over, not setting up for the next generation. And I understand it. There were people.
Well, I mean, that was Hogan too, though.
Hogan did it. Steve Austin did it. There were guys that just no.
Steve did it to a point.
He didn't want to work with Jeff Jarrett.
Okay.
Can I blame him? No.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying.
He didn't want to lose. He didn't want to lose the title to Triple H. He had to have Mick Foley lose to him.
That, yeah, I mean, that one is
like there's several instances of that happening, and you know, in Triple H, I'm sure. I'm Goldberg, same thing. There have been several.
I mean, fuck that.
Top talents that have done that. Bret Hart did it. Bret Hart openly refused, like, I'm not losing in Canada.
Yep.
It happens. I get it. But they're facing the same issue now because they have to rely on people that are close to 40 or past 40 instead of getting a next generation up and coming. That's why Cody Rhodes' championship reigns have suffered, because they didn't have anybody else to put him against. Because for the last 3.5 years, we've been feeding everyone to Roman, where everybody now is beneath him. Now we finally have somebody that finally took the title off him. The problem is that we didn't build anybody else up ready to face him.
Yeah.
Now he's going to be facing almost like mid-cards.
First opponent was freaking AJ Styles.
Exactly.
And listen, that was a banger match, don't get me wrong, but
we knew who was going to win.
Yeah, and not for nothing, it's like you butchered it too, because you made AJ kind of whiny.
You did. Instead of it just being like AJ Styles as AJ Styles up against Cody Rhodes.
Yep. Exactly.
Which is what it should have been.
Yeah. Listen, the perfect example of that.
It's why I don't blame Cody for any of this.
No. The perfect example is actually AJ versus Cena. Both went in his face, both left his face. You could have done the exact same thing.
Perfect example.
Could have done the exact same thing. And it would have worked, because it's fucking AJ Styles. So what you just said, though, I don't blame Cody at all for this. It's not his fault.
It's not Cody's fault.
You have to look at what they just did with Drew. You could have had something meaningful there. You could look at Cody's feuds that led up to him winning, like with Brock Lesnar, like with Seth Rollins, like with Roman himself, even though Cody kind of had to carry it for the most part. You know, those feuds were impactful, but they had no plan for him after. And that is to their detriment, but also the detriment of Cody's run, because if you look back, everyone's going to look fondly on his quote-unquote story of how he won the first title. No one's going to give a shit about after that.
No.
Because they haven't done anything good with it. Like I said, I just mentioned Drew. You had a great chance to do it with Drew, and you did for a little bit, but there was no real big payoff. And now he's going to go film a movie, and it's like, cool, now what? Oh, let's just put him in fucking War Games. It's a mess, man.
I think he'll be fine. I think his legacy will be fine.
Oh, I agree. Yeah.
I just think that he just got booked in bad spots. That's not his fault. None of it's his fault, because I feel like everything he has done to be the champion and be the top guy, he's done it. And I have to give credit to Cena, and it's hard for me to do that, but it's the truth. He was the top guy during a lot of lean years, and he kept the company going because of his sacrifices that he made. So I have to give him that credit. And I'm not upset for Roman Reigns either for being like, well, I need time off to do movies. Dude, do movies. You should. Like, the fact that him and CM Punk are actually zebra buddy cops in Zootopia 2 is hysterical to me.
Oh, it's hilarious. I agree.
I actually showed Steph the pictures yesterday. I'm just like, so this is what they are in Zootopia. And she thought that was, she laughed at it. Like, she even thought that was funny. And that's just what it is. Like, both of those guys are uber talented and should be able to make money in other things other than just the wrestling side of shit. I don't feel bad in a sense for things that have happened recently to some of the guys. Like the Jey Uso stuff needs to be stated in the sense that Jey Uso is the only person that I look at right now as someone that's just like, what the fuck have you done? Because this is a guy a year ago that was on fire. Yes, he won the Royal Rumble. We both kind of questioned it, but I'm like, all right, let's see what they do with it. And I don't blame them.
I don't want to think about that show.
I don't blame them. I don't blame the company. Because I feel like they put him in every single conceivable position to succeed. And I think he failed on his own. He has been terrible in every big match that they have put him in for the last couple of years now. Dating back to WrestleMania against his brother last year in Philadelphia.
I think that they've put him in situations that he was maybe not ready for. And I don't mean that as a talent, I mean that mentally.
Right.
And I've said this since WrestleMania. I don't think that, because I'm not going to sit here and blame just him for that match. Maybe not the match, but definitely the finish. I don't think Gunther did him any favors by tapping as quickly as he did. I don't know if that's a time thing. I don't know if it's a ref thing. I don't know if it's a Gunther thing. I don't know. But all I can say is there were no favors done by that move. And it sucks, but I still don't think that he was ready to be world champion anyways. Just saying. Because his title reign, I think a lot of people, ourselves included, could not wait for that title to get off of him. Just couldn't.
And then we're screaming at the TV, they better not fucking put it back on him on Saturday night's main event.
So, in full transparency, so that just you and I talked about something during pre-show that I'm not going to repeat, obviously, but that was the reason I did not watch that show live. But it was also because I was terrified that they were actually going to put the title back on him.
Samesies.
I literally, I did not watch it until I think you more or less gave the all clear of and all was right in the world. I think that was your phrase. And then I watched the show after you had said that, like the next day.
I actually went to a haunted hayride with Steph that night, and
Because you're in the same boat. You made plans. You didn't want to watch it because you were terrified.
Well, because it was like, it's Halloween. Let's go do something. And plus, it's like that too. It's like, but also it shows how much I've grown as a person. Where it's just like, I'd rather go do a date night than go watch this shit. Because I just know.
Even if I didn't have plans, I don't think I was going to watch it.
No, because I was terrified they were going to put the belt on Jey Uso again.
Yeah.
I had to go back and watch the match, and I'm watching it, and I'm just like, this is bad. And it's not CM. I think CM Punk even.
Oh, you could tell there was one point he kicked him in the head.
That it was after the botched,
neck breaker, yeah,
the neck breaker, which. Oof. When I saw that, I was, and then the questions of sandbagging started to come in, which.
So, I read he might have had a joint before the match. I doubt that's true. I doubt that's true. But I did read that he might have smoked some pot before the match, and that's why he looked like shit. But I mean, I don't think that was the case.
And I could see CM Punk also
maybe that's why I kicked him in the head. I mean, who knows?
Exactly. Because it's just like, well, too, the only guy I could consider, like, if he's smoking weed, fine, is RVD. But like, if it's anybody else,
I would have sent him a riddle. But yeah,
especially against Jey Uso, like Jey Uso, you're working with, it's like. Maybe that's accounted for on why his performances have just been so sloppy, because it's like everything in that match was just bad. It looked bad. His spear looked bad. The neckbreaker spot.
I don't like his spear anyways.
It sucks.
I don't think he has a great spear.
No, it's bad. It's really bad. Like, he's got one of the worst spears in the industry. And there have been the only guy that, and the other one too, that, and I hate to say this because I like him, but Edge's spear never intimidated me. It was never one. I was just,
what it is with Edge though is he, and granted he doesn't do it now, but when he had the long hair, especially, like, he was able to flip the long hair back, and it made it look
the setup
more than
what
it
good.
Was. Yeah, and the setup too. Yep, I'll agree with that. So he was able to make it look decent, but like, Jay's looks sloppy.
It looks like shit.
It just looks so sloppy. Bad. Yeah, like I get it. Don't get me wrong. I get why
even
people like
Splash sometimes. I'm like, I mean, it did not look good.
Let's be real. The Splash is just him jumping out and putting his arms up a little bit.
The only thing he pulls off right is his entrance.
I mean, it's hard. It'd be hard to mess that up, I feel like. But yeah, you're not wrong. I mean, listen, I get why people like him. He's great for the kids. I do have to give him that. But I feel like, just as an in-ring talent, I'm just not a big fan.
I'm not impressed. Like, it's just they've tried to prove to me time and time again that, this guy is ready. It's like, I don't like Seth Rollins that much. I made it known. But Seth Rollins in the ring, I can't argue that.
No.
Cannot argue that.
No, not at all.
My issue with him is just as a personality. I just find him to be immensely boring. In ring, yeah, he can go. But Jay, it's like
the problem with Rollins is they changed his character way too fast, and it's a gripe that we've already had. Yeah, but dude, he had literally, I felt like, just really nailed his character work.
Yeah,
like seriously, it just nailed it. And then it's like, actually, we're going to turn you heel, give you two guys that are up and coming, and we're going to give you Paul Heyman too.
So we're gonna go back 10 years to when everybody didn't like you.
Yeah, because we're gonna put your wife with you again. Yeah, and then we're gonna put you with J&J Security again, and we're gonna give you a mouthpiece, even though you don't need one because you've proven in the last couple of years that you're actually pretty good on the mic.
It's like, all right, so let's just
literally. If I'm Seth Rollins in that conversation, I'm just going, why?
Like, just cut his dick off. Well, he probably, when the minute they said they're going to give you Paul Heyman, it's like, all right, but you should have known it wasn't going to work. You should have just known, like, this ain't going to work. Like, I'm helping the number one babyface in the company defeat Roman Reigns, like, last year, and now this year I'm turning heel.
Yeah,
why?
It just doesn't make any sense to me either. It'd be one thing if it was like right after Cody, right? Say he just feuds with Cody and they do all this. It could have maybe worked then, right? Because he was still kind of figuring his character out. He was turning babyface. At that point, pretty much right after that, I think they turned him babyface and had him win the World Heavyweight Championship pretty within 6 months, I feel like. Because they had just initially brought it back because Roman had both titles at that point.
Right.
Doing it around that time, I maybe would have worked. Wouldn't have worked for the Roman Reigns aspect with Paul Heyman and stuff, but you could have figured something out with maybe Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed. But doing it at the time they did 6-7 months ago, it's like, why? Like I said, if I'm Rollins, I'm like, why do I need these guys? Like, I got my character down. I'm in a good place. I just need Paul. I don't need the other guys. And he didn't even need Paul either, but it could have worked. You know, CM Punk didn't need Paul Heyman either, whether it be now or then, back then when that was the thing, but it worked. This could have worked too. Why does he need an entire faction behind him? Why do we need to put Becky back with him? Like, it just doesn't make sense. And this is the problem with the booking overall.
The AJ Lee thing. AJ Lee has not made one appearance since that pay-per-view.
Well, she's touring apparently for a book, but I get it, yeah.
But it's like, all they did was just like, oh, we're just going to fuck over AEW. Okay. Like, and also, because we're going to do this ESPN thing. Could have waited the ESPN deal. Like, you could have waited, like, their idea of, like, that should have started with Survivor Series. It should have been your big four. You stick out the Peacock deal for a while, but then you just go to them and you just say, why don't we start it with Survivor Series so it starts with War Games? You make it feel special that way. Instead of just like the first show they get is something you just throw together with two big matches that really didn't even mean anything. Brock thrashed Cena, which all it did was piss people off because it's like, well, what are you going to do?
Didn't piss me off
with this. No, it didn't piss me off either because it's just like my boy beat him in like 6 minutes. Great. But for other people, it did. It was just like, so there's no other follow-up to this? Nope.
See, that was the big issue that I had with the Cena and Brock Lesnar match, because it's like, you should have had, maybe not a trilogy, but maybe two. At least two.
At least one more.
Not just, no, I'm going to beat the shit out of you and that's it. Like,
which, I mean, I didn't mind it, but...
No, like, again, me personally, I don't hate that.
Something to make sense.
Yeah.
Make it make sense.
I feel like there's no making sense in his booking this year. It's crazy. I was thinking about this before we started, even before pre-show, I was thinking about this, where 2 years ago we were so big on him. He just takes over booking from Vince. We're so big on it. He's nailing things. If the talent's not delivering, we're not blaming him because we can see that the talent isn't maybe as good as built. You mentioned the Usos against each other at WrestleMania 40. That's one instance where, okay, the booking is right, but the match itself just isn't delivering. It was one match, though. One match. This year, we've talked about this before on the show. It's like WrestleMania this year sucked. It was not a good show.
No.
There were a couple of good matches, but that was it. The rest of the card just sucked. And listen, like I know people did not leave Saturday night, the first night, night one of WrestleMania 41 this year, with a good taste in their mouth after, like we just talked about with Rollins. But at least the match told a good story.
It did.
But then you go from that to night two, and it's like, what the fuck did I just watch? And they've had one good PLE since. That was it. That's literally been it.
SummerSlam was a great show.
It was.
And they've had a lot of... Have they had bad shows? They've had a couple of bad shows. But I wouldn't say they have been all right, like down the right terrible. But there have been some good
okay, but
PLEs.
Compare that to 2024 when we agreed that they really had one bad PLE in 2024.
That's very true. No, you're right. They had a very good year in 2024, and this year has been the Rumble, questionable. Everything else.
No, the Rumble sucked this year. It was Charlotte Flair and Jey Uso.
That's why I said it was questionable.
I know it sucked. It's not questionable at all. It sucked. It's not questionable at all. It was awful.
Yes, it was terrible. But
Elimination Chamber sucked too. Cena won.
Yeah, and then we had the heel turn at the end that led to nothing.
And fucking Travis Scott slapping the crap out of Cody Rhodes. Like,
Travis Scott is at WrestleMania. He's not going to be. Oh my God, he's in the finish. Oh my God, this is terrible.
A 2-minute intro for a run-in. Like, come on, man.
At least Hulk Hogan died happy, knowing that he did not have the worst finish in WrestleMania history. Like he at least knew. It's just like I could die happy now. They just like 9. No one remembers 9 as the worst because they'll just remember. All you could do is look at wrestling fans now and just say Travis Scott. They'll just start looking at it like they watch Platoon for 4 hours. They're just like, oh God.
And granted,
Willem
like,
Dafoe with his stretched out arms, Platoon. It's just like that's pretty much the equivalent of what Travis Scott was at the end of WrestleMania.
They've been so hard to like this year. SummerSlam was really the one event this year that I was excited by the card and excited to watch.
Yes.
And it did deliver.
And now that CM Punk is world champion again, it's like all is redeemed.
Not all, but a few.
Not
things,
all
yeah.
is, but it's like at least he's world champion. It's like, okay, I can live with this.
Yeah, it's like I said, they've made it very hard to like them this year, and it's not through lack of effort, obviously, and it's funny to think about it as a town turn because it's not like it's like 91, 92, right? Like it's a very different feel.
It is entering that category, in my opinion, especially with what
it's. For us, I feel like it is, but for the majority, I don't think, though. I don't think that's the case, though.
I think the problem that I have is that it's it is. I feel like it is going to be. It is different because I feel like that it's not going to be 91 or 92 bad. But I do feel like
for the true fans, it will be. But
yeah, it's going to be for the true fans. It's going to be like, oh boy, because I'm concerned from the aspect of because I already know. I was listening to somebody this week that might play into later on in future episode or two. Who knows? But you know. I was listening to a lot of his stuff, and he's just like, his indie promotions are starting to close up all around. It's starting to, there's definitely a shift starting to happen, and I knew that it was going to kind of happen with the economics of things that have just been happening recently.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Costs are going up, so it's just like these guys are just like, I can't run shows. And because you can't give these guys just $20 in a handshake anymore. It's like you got to pay them. Like everything's going up. Like a lot of these guys are traveling, so it's just that's adding up because hotels are going up. So then you're paying your buildings are going up, insurance rates are going up. So a lot of these guys are just like, fuck this. And that's going to start hurting the talents because what are they going to do now? Like, what are they going to do? Like, are they going to, I don't know. Yeah.
I think the problem is first of all, ticket prices are going up too, right? Take away the talent costs and all that stuff, but ticket prices are going up. The economy is not the best place either, which isn't helping that. Actually paying the talent, kind of like you were saying as well, you're right. Like you can't get a bargain bin anymore. It's just not feasible. And when we talk about that, right, like so many people are gonna gravitate towards the WWE shows because that's what they know. They want to see their favorite wrestlers. But then getting some of them to do other, promotions, as it were, is next to impossible, right? I know WWE has gotten better about it. AEW is obviously decent about it, but to that aspect of looking at AEW, Mercedes Moné is charging how much to basically disappear with your title and show it on TV, and that's it? You don't really see it again? Just saying.
Talking to a friend of mine who worked with a local promotion a while back, in this area, there is a promotion that runs weekly, and they are one of the top independent promotions here in the Northeast. They run weekly in the area. So they, the owner did make an offer to Mercedes, and pretty much the figure that she threw out was okay. And then pretty much it was like, if I come in, I got to win the title.
Yeah, I've heard that too.
Like,
so not only are you paying her, but she has to give,
and
she has
she's
to have
going to
the
hold
title.
it up because then it's just like, when are you going to come back to face it?
That's the problem. Yeah.
Because now, she's got your belt. She's on live national TV with it every week. But when's she going to come in to drop it? Like, she's not worth the money you're going to shell out for her. Because
she's holding your title hostage. Let's be real.
She's holding your title hostage. So then your talent, it's like, so you're going to have a tournament anyways, like in 6 months? And then, like, oh, but she's got the title. When's she going to defend it? Like, she's got 12 titles. Does that mean she's going to make 12 title defenses a month?
No, she's making, like, 0.
Exactly.
Like, listen, man, like, at the end of the day, like, these talent, they have to, what's the word I'm looking for here? They have to market themselves, right? And I understand that, and I give a modicum of respect to that as well, because it's how they make their money. Let's be real. If you can't advocate for yourself, if you can't market yourself, you're not going to make money. And that's just being a talent, and I understand that. But at the same token, for that aspect of it, right, from the Mercedes Moné aspect of having all of these titles, you're really holding these promoters hostage, I feel like.
You really are.
And that's unfair. They don't have WWE money. They don't have Tony Khan money. These are the people in the indies that are bringing up this younger talent, trying to help them, trying to mold them, but also put on a show for their audience as well. And to me, it's incredibly unfair of her to hold these smaller promotions hostage like that.
I mean, some of the titles also that she's won, some of the buildings I have seen, though, there's literally 50 people there.
You're making my point for me, man.
Yeah, I get the cool visual of, oh, she wants to be like the Ultimate Dragon type thing. It's like, look,
Ultimate Dragon wasn't holding people hostage, though.
The only one that I feel like actually could be the Mercedes Moné gimmick, and also someone that should be the belt collector, other than Kenny Omega on the male side, but I think Bayley probably could, because Bayley would actually go to these promotions, and I think would be able to defend the titles and would do it and would be the road warrior type aspect of it, because she loves the industry.
I think
I'm not saying Mercedes Moné doesn't love the industry, because I think she does, but at the same time, I don't like this. Well, you're holding the belts hostage.
But Dan, she was in the Mandalorian. God damn it.
Oh yeah. So was Gina Gershon.
That's fair, but Natty Neidhart is another one that I feel he could do it as well.
Yeah, Natty Neidhart could too. Shayna Baszler's another one probably.
Yeah, that's true too.
There are several talents that could do this that I think are far better and more compelling than Mercedes Moné, because they have more to offer than life than a shitty little dance.
I was going to say that being Snoop Dogg's cousin, but yeah, that works too.
And saying CEO, like an asshole. Is she a great worker? Yeah. I'm not mad about, she doesn't trigger me as a performer. I love when people get, triggered.
No, she triggers me as a person.
Her. She triggers me as a person, but I wouldn't say she triggers me as, it's true, though.
What? She triggers you as a person?
Just,
I mean, she does. She does. Just stop talking. Listen.
It's we get it.
I don't mind her promos. I don't mind her in-ring work. But, in the context of what I just said about, effectively holding these small promoters hostage for their title and a large sum of money, let's just say it that way, I get it. But I don't think she understands that the money that is being spent on her might take some of these small promotions a good amount of time to actually cover it.
Right.
And I don't mean cover it in that instance. I mean, hey, maybe we've had 20 shows. Maybe now we can afford Mercedes Moné. And I think for those promoters that are sitting there looking at I want to bring a big name talent to get more, we'll say notoriety, more viewership, more of an audience. And kind of like you said, one of the visuals is her holding it up in front of 50 people. I mean, for me, that says a lot about not only that promotion and its small size, obviously, but also I don't think you're as big of a straw as you think you are.
Yeah, she has name recognition that can't be denied. She has, I think, is she a star?
Good answer. Good answer, Dan.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's because I want to say yes, but at the same time, I can't. Because
I'll tell you transparently, I don't think she is.
I don't think she is either.
I think she's good.
I think she's good, not great.
Yeah, I don't think she's great.
This
is why when she... That's exactly what I was about to say. This is why I don't like putting her in a ring with Tony Storm at this point, because Tony is the star.
This is the way I look at it. Tony Storm is a star. Saraya is a star. I know she's no longer in the company, but she's a star. Sky Blue is a star.
How about that?
Well, for different reasons.
Couple.
But,
Yeah. Okay.
Like Chris Statlander's a star. Yeah. There are some other women in that division, like Willow Nightingale. She's a star. There are some women in that division that, in that company for that matter, that, Mina Shirakawa, there's another one, that's a star. There are ones that in my opinion, that it's just, they are head and shoulders above everybody else. And I look at what Mercedes has done. She hasn't raised the bar in any of them. Like, no one has come out of a feud with her better. Except maybe Tony, that first one. But they're going to put her up against Chris Statlander, and then Statlander's going to drop the title to her. And then it's going to be like, well, now I have this. And it's like, because they didn't want to serve Tony up to her, but they had to have that outlier beat her. And then first title defense is just going to go to Mercedes.
I don't think it's an outlier. I don't like it. I just don't, because when it really comes down to it, I don't think Tony should have been involved in the pin at all.
No, she shouldn't have. We've discussed that immensely, but I 100% agree with you. That was a bad decision on their part. But we've crossed that bridge. Now we have to get to like. There's not much more we could say about that because we're in agreement. It never should have happened. They did it.
I'm okay with her losing the match. It just shouldn't have been like that.
Yeah, it shouldn't have been. But she shouldn't have been pinned anyways. It should have been she loses the title because somebody else got pinned.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, exactly.
And that's how, because that takes the champion's advantage away. And also too, the champion doesn't need to be pinned. That's an out. Then it's like, oh, I can change the title now because instead of the champion losing in a multi-person match, it's just like the champion shouldn't be losing in a multi-person match.
Well, I mean,
unless
in context of what we just said, yeah.
Yes, they should not be getting pinned.
Right.
Or submitted, for that matter. You only do that in a one-on-one match. But if it's a multi-person, like Samoa Joe, I think one time he was undefeated and he was the X Division champion, but he lost in a triple threat match, but he didn't eat the pin, so technically it wasn't a loss.
Right. Yep.
So
I just, weird booking decisions notwithstanding, I just think that as a whole, it's just these two promotions especially. The only way I could say it to finalize this entire conversation is they need to pull their heads out of their asses. They really do.
They do. And they need to take notes from other promoters. People like Cobra Kai and hopefully future guest. Hopefully.
I just, they need to, I know that Triple H is big on saying the comment of, well, we're not listening to the internet. Maybe you should, but maybe you should. I don't care who on the internet you listen to, whether it be us or Cobra Kai, the potential
guests. If somebody
guests,
from that
Scott
company,
Hudson, I don't care who they listen to. Listen to
if
somebody.
Somebody from that company is listening out there, I'm easy to find.
Me too, and I'll do it for less money probably.
Exactly.
Too.
You're paying these Hollywood people. What are you paying them for? What are you giving them, like $100,000? Give me 80. Fuck.
I was thinking 90 to
80,000.
100, yeah.
But like even 80,000, I'd sit on that. I'd be like, oh, fuck it, why not? Like it's like, but at the same, yeah, you're right. Maybe 100,000 would be better. Yeah, give me 125,000. Let's talk.
I'll listen. I'm straight with the 100K. Just
Exactly.
give me that. I will move an hour south. I'll be in Stanford all the time, and I will write whatever you want to write, and it will make more sense than whatever the fuck you are doing right now. And I will not cut LA Knight off on time either. Just saying, by the way. Having said that, I just AEW, same thing. Like if you're listening, I'll do the same thing for you. I just make it make more sense.
Netflix would love us because we'd be on that show, and anytime if anybody came up with stupid ideas, we would just look at them and say, "Shut the fuck up." Like that guy who said the Jey Uso thing. Me and you would have just sat in that room and just been like, "Shut the fuck up. Just shut up now."
I think if I was in that room, if I did not say that, I probably would have said something. Well, okay, I'm going to tell you what we're not doing. It's that, by the way. It's. I'm not going to sit here and say it was the worst idea they've ever had. It's not. It's definitely not the best idea they've ever had either. And you tried this experiment, and it lasted way too long.
Way too long.
Granted, 2 weeks would have been too long, but still, you went way past that too. And listen, to the effect of what we talked about before with AEW and charging them $100K for my services as well, or yours for that matter, I'm not going to make, Sky Blue played 9 minutes into the match.
No.
Not going to do that on television, no less, too. PLE, we'll talk, but, no. Just no.
No.
Just literally no reason for it. We said this before, and it's like beating a dead horse. But to go back to the comment again, it's like they need to pull their heads out of their asses. Both companies do. I don't know in what world you give away a blood and guts, basically a pay-per-view on television. I don't get that. Some matches, we've discussed this ad nauseum in the past, like some of the matches they put on TV, like the dog collar match between CM Punk and MJF, should not have been on TV. That's a pay-per-view match.
Shouldn't have been.
So for me, it's like, what is your business plan?
Yeah, what is your business model here? Have you learned nothing from WCW? Oh, okay, all right.
Oh no! Wait, you just say you do, but you really don't.
No, you haven't learned anything. Okay.
But he says he did.
But you didn't.
Well, I'm trying to think of what movie it's from, but it's literally the quote of, Full Metal Jacket. Bullshit! I don't believe you. I just don't. It's unfortunate because
you're a hooker.
Yeah, that is not Full Metal Jacket, by the way.
No, it's not.
It's so hard, man. I want to like wrestling again. That's the best way I can actually put this right now. I want to like wrestling. I want to be in love with it again. This year,
I do love it.
They've made it really hard to love wrestling.
They have made it hard, but you know what? There's always WWE Vault to get you through life.
I mean, you're not wrong at all. I just, when it comes to like the product now, I want to love it the same way I used to love some of that stuff.
I know. I get it 100%. And I think, like I said, that the two biggest aspects of the company right now, some of them are some of the champions. I'm happy Jade Cargill is champion. I'm happy that Cody Rhodes is champion. I'm happy CM Punk is champion. Those are major things to be really pretty happy with in the company right now, as we speak. And that really is kind of like the only, and I'm excited for War Games. Like that, War Games! I'm happy for that. But
We'll see. If Brock's in the match, I'll be happier about it. But
yes, of course. And if Roman's in the
And
match,
Roman,
'cause then
yeah,
again,
I was
it's
about to
like
say.
you're looking at that team and you're just like, holy shit.
yeah,
And then Stephanie Vercure is champion too. I forgot about her. So there are certain aspects
they're
I
doing
love.
her dirty with
They
Isabella,
are.
though.
They are, but like can't do. It's just what they're doing. But I'm happy with those champions, especially CM Punk as world champion. It's like, all right, all is right in the world. Like I said that night, that after I saw that he won the title, I'm like, okay, we can breathe easy, gentlemen. The Jey Uso is not champion again. So that's kind of where it ends for us, though. I think at the end of the day, we want things to be better. I'm not trying to be an influencer and trying to have people like the word. I was talking to my therapist about this morning and saying that I don't want to be an influencer in this industry. Do I want to be a personality? Sure. Do I want to be a pundit? Sure. But I do not want to be an influencer. I don't want the last thing I want people to do is follow my advice when it comes to this industry. Like what you like. If you like AEW and you like some of the aspects of it, if you thought Blood and Guts was your thing, that's fine. I'm trying to open myself up to more people and not trying to be and have my biases show all the time. But it is hard for me to, in my age, enjoy something like Blood and Guts. Like, just, especially on a network television. Like, come on, guys.
So I mean, listen, I don't watch AEW at this point anymore. I really don't. I think I've made that abundantly clear, anyways.
Yes.
However, thanks, asshole. However, and maybe somebody can tell me this, anyways. Regardless, right? But why are those teams the teams that they were? Especially for the women. Like, that's what I don't get. Like, what context do they have to be teaming together in a Blood and Guts match? I'm sorry. Marina Shafir in a team with Mercedes Moné, to me, makes no sense. I get they're both heels, sure, but why? And same thing with Sky Blue and her partner. I don't remember her name, but just I'm not looking at it either.
Julia Hart?
No, it's not Julia Hart. Julia Hart wasn't in the match. The other person. Okay. There's three of them, but I forget the other person's name. I don't get why they're teaming together. I don't. Tony lost the title to Chris Statlander, but they're in a team together. Yeah. It's just weird, right? Like the men's side, that made sense. Those teams made sense. I didn't like the teams.
Darby not being involved in the finish didn't make any sense.
Yeah, that too. With the WWE side, the teams make sense. They already make sense. I might not like the teams, especially, again, Cody and CM Punk, especially since they're on two shows that are different, especially since they're both world champions.
And
I don't like
no
that.
World champions on the line of the show.
I mean, there might be a women's match, but yeah, basically, yeah. It's. I don't care for it, but at least it makes a little bit more sense than the Blood and Guts matches did. Just
I agree.
I don't know. I'm not saying you have to defend your world championships on every PLE or pay-per-view. It would just make a lot more sense if you did, or at least on TV or the next PLE, which I'm sure they'll probably do, but I'm trying to remember what's after this. The Rumble? Do they have anything in December? I think it's the Rumble and then Elimination Chamber, unless they squeeze something in.
I think so. They might do another Well, they got Saturday night's main event because it's.
Oh, that's right. They got another one of those at the end of
Yeah.
December. Yeah.
So that'll pretty much be it, and then then we have the Royal Rumble coming up at the end of January, beginning of February almost.
Did you speaking of the Rumble, I guess we can talk just very briefly on this, but did you read the report that early signs for Stephanie McCare to defend at WrestleMania is either Rhea Ripley or Becky Lynch?
Doesn't surprise me at all.
Nah, me either. For me, that means that Becky's going to drop the title if they go that route, though.
Probably.
The Intercontinental title, that is.
Who do they expect on the men's side?
I haven't seen anything yet. I only saw the Stephanie McCare aspect right now. I
better not hear shit about Braun Breaker because I'm going to throw my fucking TV out the window if I do.
Yeah, I don't want that. I really don't want that.
He hasn't shown me dick in months. And it's
because he hasn't done shit in months.
He
That's
hasn't
the
done
problem.
anything. He hasn't done a fucking thing. And they're just going to hotshot this fucking guy to be the champion, and I'm not sure yet.
The only reason I would hotshot him at this point is if he shows out in War Games. That's it. And even then,
Brock's going to be in there. And I heard it's going to be Brock and him at Mania. They might do that, which I'm fine with. Like, I'm fine with him. And because I'm not ready for him to be world champion. And the fact is too, I don't know if he's going to be world championship material. I know that everybody in the world fucking thinks he does. Punk's like, oh, he's the future. Hey, look, you guys can be wrong too. And I look at him and I'm just like, he's got a $10 look, in my opinion. $9.50 in the tan and a 50-cent haircut. That's the look he gives me.
I think I disagree with that, but I understand why you say it. I think he's got a look. I just think the problem is the look looks a lot like another guy from the 90s that I don't like. And that doesn't help him for me.
It's just another guy that looks it's just another stereotypical, and I'm not trying to make it a race thing or anything like that or a ethnicity thing. I'm not doing that at all. I'm just saying that he just has the same body type as every other guy that that they fell in love with. Oh, he looks like Cena. Oh, you look at the man. Who gives a shit? Like I said, I feel like the future is Obafemi and it's Trick Williams.
Oh, I mean that, yeah.
It's not fucking Braun Breaker. Ugh.
I agree definitely about Trick and Obafemi for sure. 100%.
It's not Braun Breaker. Braun Breaker is just this guy that
he's going to be a world champion. He's going to be a world champion. I'm going to tell you that right now. I'm not going to say anything, but he's not the guy to carry the company.
No. I don't think he ever will be.
I don't think so. I think he's always going to need a mouthpiece. And there's nothing wrong with that. Brock had Paul Heyman for years, right?
Yeah.
And it worked. It absolutely worked. But Brock also knew what to say and when to say it. And I don't think, at least right now, that Braun Breaker has that same, I guess, talent, for lack of a better word right now, to know what to say and when to say it. I just don't.
Physically, yes. In ring wise, he's great. I'll give him that.
Yeah,
he's a great
good
athlete,
worker.
but
yeah,
he's got to do more than a spear.
I mean, dude, I already kind of said something to this effect, but I'll say it again, just in a language I think a lot of other fans can understand. I'm literally waiting for him to do a fucking jackhammer. I really am.
I know.
And it bothers the shit out of me.
He really is just turning into Goldberg.
He is.
Fuck, dude.
He is. 100% he is. And it's like, please stop. Please stop doing that.
You're not Goldberg, dude. Don't be Goldberg.
If you ask who's next, I might scream at you.
Comes out and
I
he's
can't.
just wearing black tights with no, stuck this shit right now.
You know what would be hilarious? And I know they'll never do it, and I don't think Rick would do it either, or Scott for that matter, but it'd be hilarious if they got Scott to come out with them one time. Just to start doing Steiner math.
That's funny.
It would be hilarious.
They might do it eventually if they do a babyface turn, but I don't know when that's going to be. And plus, I don't know if he's going to be a babyface ever because
I don't know if
in the
Scott's gonna do it
sense of that
anyways.
you're right because he's going to need a mouthpiece.
I don't think Scott would do it anyways.
Probably.
I mean, listen, you could do him and Bronson Reed. You could do that. I'd be okay with that because I don't think they should keep them together for very long.
No, I don't think so either.
I don't know.
I don't think so at all.
They need listen. You know, they need fresh ideas. That's all I can say. Is some of these ideas they keep jumping into the well, and I think the well is starting to run dry.
Well, in the words of a genius lawyer, better call Dan. That's how we get this done. Like, call Mac, and I'll call Mac and be like, "Come on, they want both of us." Like,
So you can
Call
reach
me
us at
first.
555.
Yes,
You know, it's
exactly.
just- come on, man. Like,
just call us. God damn it.
seriously,
We'll make your lives so much easier. Well, harder.
okay, but you have to book Jey Uso. I'm going to need a lot more money then. Why? Because I need to drown my sorrows.
I need blow. That's what I need
Yeah,
right now.
exactly. Exactly. Why do you need so much money if you're going to book Jey Uso? You don't understand.
You don't fucking say. You don't understand this industry at all.
Oh, man.
You've been in this industry 2 minutes. Yeah, well,
And I already know more about it than you.
you want me to book Jey Uso? The fuck is wrong with you?
I shouldn't have said it that way. I should have said you have to book Jey Uso in the main event. Then I
Oh, fuck you.
Yeah, because otherwise, if I'm gonna book him, I'm gonna book him against like I don't know.
That's one of the.
I'll pull Hurricane Helms out of retirement and make him face Jey Uso, like some kind of crap like that, and they're gonna be like, no, you have to book him in the main event. Oh well, I'm gonna need like a double advance on my money then. Why? Because I need to drown my sorrows. Why?
That's one of the
Jey
interview
Uso is
questions.
not good for you.
That's one of the interview questions. So Jey Uso is facing. Jey Uso is facing who? Well, he's facing. He's facing this person for the World Heavyweight Championship. So how do you book this match? The other person goes over every time. Well, I mean, how are you going to get Jey Uso over though? You can't.
I'm not. I'm not. It's it's
You're not going to.
yeah. I mean, Jey Uso would be the next Dennis Stamp.
Because I'm not booked.
I'm not booked.
Just not booked. It's funny.
Except
I
Dennis
really
Stamp
would
will
say
still be
that.
remembered in 20 more years.
Yeah.
Jey Uso will
it's-
be remembered as a great tag team performer. But that's
I
pretty
think
much
my
it.
answer to the question would be to get up and walk out of the room. How do you book Jey Uso in the main event? I just stand up and walk.
I quit.
We didn't give
We
you the
didn't
job.
hire you yet.
I quit.
Quit.
Oh man.
I can't.
But yeah, you can still reach us at 555.
Yeah. Just give us a call and we'll figure this out. Like, look, maybe we'll just sit there in reality of the situation and just be like, no.
First interview question. So with your booking, how do you turn this company around? You stop booking Jey Uso.
You stop booking Jey Uso. Book LA Knight more.
Ugh. Yeah.
Put a rocket on him. Just take him to the top. Ride it to the top, baby. People care. They
Dude,
want that.
I know you said something about it earlier, but it's like I really wonder whose Cheerios he pissed in, man. I really
Good
do.
Lord. Like it just I don't get it. I just don't get it. Why are you fucking with this guy? It seems like to just kind of You know, it's like, or if this part of a grand scheme to get the guy? I don't know.
I don't think it's a grand scheme of anything. I think he just literally does not know what he has in him. And I hate to say that because it's like he has booked him strongly in the past, but then it's just
Yes, but what about now?
All I can think of is we were talking about the other day.
Yeah, of course.
Do you have any closing thoughts, Dan?
I really don't.
I think
I
we
really
bashed
don't.
the
I think
industry enough.
We've done enough. We've done enough of our negativity this week, and hopefully next week will be a more fun show. Especially if we have who we have come on.
Yeah, if we have a guest, then it'll definitely be a lot of fun. If we don't,
Oh, it'll be a blast.
I think we're gonna be shit talking the industry again.
Yeah.
I was thinking about it too, and I'm like, oh yeah, we could just talk about Survivor Series, and I was like, oh crap, that's 2 weeks, not 1 week.
2 weeks away. Oh. It's also Thanksgiving weekend too, so it's just like, oh well, great, yeah.
I still have to figure out what I'm doing for Thanksgiving, so I hear you.
Yeah.
But we'll get there. A couple more weeks.
No, I understand.
All right,
Well,
take us home.
I'm about to. On that note, thank you for listening to PWW Talks, wherever you're listening to it, either on Spotify or on Diamond Podcasting Productions, here on YouTube, or wherever else you get your podcasts, including Apple and Audacity. Folks, thank you again for joining us. Hopefully we will be back next week with a very special guest. We will announce that middle of the week next week, either on Wednesday or Thursday. We haven't decided
As soon as we confirm.
as soon as we confirm. All fingers are crossed here, folks. So we will be back with you next week, hopefully with a guest. If not, we will be back to share our misery again of what's been going on with the current product. See you all next week, everybody.